Alright, guys. If you thought I was heated talking about history in my last video, wait till we get into today's video. So, today's topic is hearing aids slash cochlear implants. If you don't know what they are, if you watched last videos, or no, what was it? I think it was language and culture that we discussed, the pathological Dr. View, they created hearing aids and cochlear implants to try to convert, word as you will, deaf people to the hearing world, because deaf is a minority group, and because they're a smaller group, they're not like the majority, and they need to be like the majority, right? No. They're different, they have their own culture, community, leave them alone. So, talking about hearing aids. So, hearing aids first, there is such a thing as called latent deaf. It means you lose your hearing, or you gradually lose your hearing as you get older. Old people, they have it. You see them wearing hearing aids all the time. That little box behind the ear, and then you see like an invisible wire going into the canal. That is a hearing aid. There are 6 different types. You have behind the ear, BTE, you have receiver in canal, RAC, in the ear, ITE, in the canal, ITC, completely in canal, CIC, and invisible, which is IIC. So it's pretty noticeable to know the difference between hearing aids and cochlears. One difference is the hearing aids, you have that little box in the back. Or, if you look at cochlear implants, it's open brain surgery. You typically see it like up here in the auditory nerve area. Up here. And then there's possibly some device that may come down here. Not always, but sometimes. So, cochlear implants. What are they? It is a small, complex electronic device that can possibly, maybe, increase the sense of sound, noise, if you will, to a person who is profoundly deaf, severely hard of hearing. Either way, they can't hear well. The implant consists of an external portion that sits behind the ear and a second portion that is surgically placed under the skin up here. So again, possibly, but I do have a friend that only has it up here, not down here, just up here. So, part of the implant is a microphone which picks up sounds from the environment, a speech processor that selects and arranges sounds picked up by the mic, the transmitter and receiver slash stimulator, that receives signals from the speech processor and converts them into electronic impulses, and an electrode array, which is of a group of electrodes that collect that impulse from the stimulator and send them to different regions of the auditory nerve. There's a lot to it because it's so serious. If you don't know already, as I screamed brain surgery in the first part, cochlear implants are probably, if not the number one controversial, but one of the top most controversial topics in the deaf community. Moving on. So the transmitter, it is attached to a magnet that is inserted behind the skin. So open the skin, shove it in there, on the skull. The skull is slightly drilled. They're drilling into your skull in order to make a depression the size of the depth of about a quarter to fit a magnet there. So the external hearing aid, along with a magnetic field, is attracted to the magnet embedded under the skin behind the ear. All of this just sounds so painful to me. I don't know about you. So this allows the recipient to take off or put on the device at ease, to their discretion. Once again, I have notes in front of me, so don't mind me. There's a lot of information here. There's just a lot of information in general. Me reading textbooks on textbooks, it's hard not to find all this information and want to share it with all of you. A reminder, y'all are getting textbook information here. This is good stuff. So the purpose is that the auditory nerve is still intact. That is the purpose. That is the bridge, I guess to say, from deaf to hearing as doctors want to see it. But it doesn't always happen that way. That's not everything is successful in life, including this. Moving on. So as long as the auditory nerve works, but the surgery, if it doesn't work, it can completely wipe out the remaining living nerves that are there. So if you weren't deaf before, you definitely are now, which isn't a bad thing. But for the person that was trying to get hearing, it was the opposite effect that the goal was there for. That's a whole different situation if the deaf person was there on their own decisions or if they were forced, because children as young as 12 months can have cochlear implants approved by the FDA. If that's not heartbreaking to you, I'm sorry, that's heartbreaking. So, along with any surgery, you have those general medical risks of the surgery and anesthesia. But according to one report, about 1 child in 30 who is implanted develops complications such as pain, infection, drainage, or slow healing of this wound. Displacement or misplacement of the electrode and damage to their facial nerve during the surgery. Again, this is open brain surgery. If they nick the wrong nerve, something could go wrong elsewhere. You lose feeling in your arm. Half of your face is paralyzed. Like, this isn't general risks anymore. This is life-impacting risks. And some of these decisions to get cochlear implants wasn't even the person that is getting the implants. Oh my God, I'm just so fired up. And if you thought I was fired up in the last video, like I'm a ball of flame right now. Like if I was a cartoon character, I'd have the smoke coming out of my ears. This is just, if you don't understand the complications and the I don't even know how to word this right now because I'm so angry. Oh my God, I'm shaking. Okay, so another study reports that complication is often as 1 patient in 7 implanted with the standard Nucleus 22 device, just specifications. The FDA's summary of safety and effectiveness data cites the alarming figure of 1 child in 6 with adverse reactions and complications. That's a huge number. You may think like, oh, 1 in 6, no big deal. But if you take the number of people, the number of deaf people to the number of deaf people or hard of hearing that get cochlear implants to that 1 of 6 number, that's still a lot. 1 is still one too many. Understand that. So, over time, as technology changes and improves, they have the choice of getting more surgeries for that improvement. May not even be by choice. Some pieces require changing the internal coil or electrodes time and time again. So you may not even have the choice for the update, but you still need it in their eyes. A pioneering autosurgeon in this field states, once a child is implanted, he is an implant patient for life. That just kind of goes deep. Deeper than the surgery that they're doing on their brain. that's just such a mental effect. Like, I can't even imagine being in that position. Okay, moving on, moving on. So, hearing aids amplify sounds so they may be detected by damaged ears. Cochlear implants bypass damaged portions of the ears and directly stimulate the auditory nerve. That is the goal. That is the difference between the two. Signals generated by the implant are sent by way of the auditory nerve to the brain, which recognizes the signals as sound. I don't even want to say sound, it's noise. So cochlear implants don't give back the fully recovered sound. Hearing specifics is almost impossible. So, for example, say I love going to the orchestra. I love hearing the symphony, the individual sounds of the instruments, the trumpets, the flutes, the saxophones, you name it. I love it. But I can specifically pick out each individual instrument playing. If I want to focus in on the trumpets, I will listen to those trumpets as long as they honk away. If I want to listen to the flutes of the high-pitched tootle toots that they give, I am able to do that. But if someone with a cochlear implant goes to an orchestra because I love it so much and I'm uneducated and I want to bring them along with me because I'm like, hey, you just got cochlear implants, you can hear this now. That is so ignorant, like I can't believe that came out of my mouth. Ignorance comes from uneducatedness, but you know what? That's why I'm here. That's why interpreters are here. We are here to educate the hearing, not help the deaf. We're helping the hearing. We're also trying to communicate deaf between hearing, but you know what I mean. So, we're at an orchestra, we're listening to the symphony, and I'm like, can't you hear those beautiful trumpets just honk away? And they can't. They can't. The cochlear implant does not allow them to specifically pick out those individual noises. If they're listening to the orchestra as a whole, and just the different parts throughout and everything, the harmonies coming together, they can't hear it because it's just noise. The honks and the tootle toots are high and loud and just noise. Have you ever sat in the middle of a very, very busy area, crowded, people talking, loud, and to the point where you can't even hear your own thoughts? That is just a glimpse into what that person's life may be like with cochlear implants. Realize it's not specific sound, it is noise. So that is just one example to try to help you guys understand what they go through and that they can't do everything a hearing person can. It's a little give, but it's not everything a parent's hopes and dreams would be when they figure out their child is deaf and they force cochlear implants on them. As of 2012, approximately 324,000 registered devices have been implanted worldwide. In the US alone, about 58,000 devices have been implanted in adults and 38,000 in children. That number makes me want to throw up. Not just adults, but 38,000 children from the ages of probably 12 months to 18 years old. That disgusts me because I can't even imagine the constant pain that they're in if it was even their choice and if it was even successful or not. I really don't know because each case is different, but this is just horrifying to me. The FDA first approved cochlear implants in the mid-1980s. Since 2000, cochlear implants have been FDA approved for use in eligible children beginning at 12 months of age. Open surgery on children, people. When I was younger, any type of surgery that dealt with a child, someone my younger age, whether it be 8, 9, 10, who cares, with tonsils. Everyone, when I was younger, I felt like everyone was getting their tonsils out. But you know what? There was still worry in that parent's eyes because the anesthesia and general surgery concerns. Now imagine brain surgery and having that 100 million times more dangerous, risking that child's health, life. You're impacting them mentally in the process. Sound is not equivalent to speech and language skills, and that is what doctors and anybody who has a pathological view is missing. Speech and hearing does not equal language. Hearing is not equivalent to speech. Just like anything else in life, you have to learn and acquire the skill. If you put cochlear implants on a child, 5 years old, should be talking basic sentences, but you can have a conversation with them. If I just magically throw cochlear implants on a 5-year-old deaf child, they're not going to be coming out like, "Hey mom, how was your day?" No, because hearing isn't equivalent to language, to speech. It's not. The practice that we have had with our tongue and our lip morphemes, I'm 21. I have had 21 years of practice with my tongue for speech. Someone who just got cochlear implants has to acquire those skills if they want to. And even at that, they could be forced to. It bothers me, not only the surgery aspect, but the fact that somebody doesn't have a choice over their own body. That bothers me. I'm getting real heated. I'm almost done though, I promise. So, sensory neural hearing loss. The cochlea in the inner ear, responsible for converting sound to electrical impulses, is not working. So when that sound travels through the ear, the full sound never arrives at the auditory nerve to be transmitted into the brain. So giving you all of this information, giving you time to think about this video, oh man, I need to check my heart rate. It's up there. I am steaming. It breaks my heart. It makes me mad. I feel like I just have so much emotion, and I'm not even personally impacted by this. Granted, I have a friend who has had over 20 plus surgeries for stupid cochlear implants, and she's like only 19 or 20. Like, this is heartbreaking to me. Nobody should have to go through that much pain just to be normal. What is normal? All right. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm quite heated and I need to cool down. Man, I hope this subject has impacted you guys as much as it has me, because this isn't only controversial in the deaf community, but now that if you learn and understand it, it should be controversial to you too. I just really have no, I can give you this information, I can tell you, I can speak words, but until you take that information, accept it, and understand it, there's just no way of understanding this otherwise. All right. Everybody go have a peaceful day.